Students, good evening. Welcome to another tutorial. This is another tutorial about Unit 10, Lessons A and B Grammar, Present Perfect versus Present Perfect Continuous, Scenes 4, in, already, just, still, and yet. So let's begin. So let's remember what are the main differences between the Present Perfect and the Present Perfect Continuous. Don't forget that the Present Perfect shows the results of an activity. It means that it focuses on the results of an activity that finished in the past, or it focuses on how many times it has happened, okay? But the present perfect continuous is for an ongoing or repeated activity that started before now and continues to the present, ¿ya? Esa es la gran diferencia. El present perfect es para enfocarse en el resultado de una actividad que ya terminó, o para enfocarme en cuántas veces ha sucedido aquella actividad. El present perfect continuous es para una actividad en progreso o una actividad repetida que comenzó en el pasado y continúa en el presente, y nosotros tenemos una evidencia de que la actividad continúa en el presente. Okay, so we already saw the last tutorial, the structures of the present perfect and the present perfect continuous. Okay. The present perfect continuous, don't forget that we have to use have or has plus been plus the verb in ing. And when we ask questions, for example, yes, no questions or WNH questions, the structure goes like this: the WNH word plus have or has plus the subject plus being plus the verb in ing. Okay? So, remember that we use, for the present perfect, we use the question word plus have plus subject plus the past participle of the verb, and subject plus have or has plus the past participle for statements. For example, what things have you made so far? I have made 8 vases and 2 bowls. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so the situation is the following. Ken and Marcia, they meet at the gym. So you have to complete the conversations using the present perfect or the present perfect continuous. Okay, so here it goes. Marcia says, "Hi Ken, I haven't seen you in ages." Okay, how do we know we have to use the present perfect here? Because see is a stative verb, and remember that stative verbs, they cannot use ing, they cannot have an ing ending. Also, we have in. In is only used with negative sentences in the present perfect. Okay, let's continue. Hey Marcia, yeah, I know I haven't worked out, or I haven't been working out that much these days. Okay, you can use both tenses here, present perfect and present perfect continuous, because you have the expression these days, so you can use both. So what have you done, or what have you been doing since I last saw you? Okay, you can use both, because here you have the expression since, and since can be used with both present perfect and present perfect continuous. Puede ser, ¿qué has hecho? ¿Qué has estado haciendo desde la última vez que te vi? Not much, no mucho. I have been pretty stressed with work. Okay, let me correct this. I have, because it's affirmative. I have been pretty stressed. Es una oración en afirmativo. I have been taken. Okay, so the correct answer is I have been taken. Yeah? Okay, so let me repeat. Let's repeat the conversation. Marcia says, "Hi, I haven't seen you in ages." Hey Marcia, yeah, I know I haven't worked out, or I haven't been working out that much these days. No me he ejercitado, o no me he estado ejercitando mucho estos días. So what have you done since I last saw you, or what have you been doing? ¿Qué has hecho, o qué has estado haciendo desde la última vez que te vi? Not much, I have been pretty stressed with work. He estado muy estresado con el trabajo. Oh, that's why I have been taking this yoga class for the past week. It helps a lot. Por eso yo he estado tomando esta clase de yoga durante la última semana. Me ayuda mucho. Okay, let's continue. The next part. Here you have an exercise where you have to choose the present perfect or the present perfect continuous. Number 1, what have you been doing lately after class? Or you can say, what have you done after class? Yeah, lately, because it says lately. How many times have you gone to the movies this month? Yeah? How many times have you gone to the movies this month? ¿Por qué present perfect? Porque dice how many times. Nosotros cuando preguntamos por how many, quiere decir cuántas veces. Cuando preguntamos por cantidad es present perfect. Number 3, who have you been hanging out with recently or who have you hung out with recently? Here we can use both. Aquí podemos usar los dos. ¿Por qué? Porque dice recently and recently we can use with both. How many times have you eaten out at a restaurant this week? How many times is used only with the present perfect? Number 5. Have you studied or have you been studying a lot lately? We can use both because lately is used with present perfect and present perfect continuous. How many phone calls have you made this week? Okay? How many? When I ask how many, you use present perfect. Number 7. How many times have you overslept in the last month? How many? It's only with present perfect. Number 8. What have you been thinking about for the last hour? Okay? What have you been thinking about for the last hour? El verbo think, ¿ya? Think about puede ser utilizado con ing, es decir, thinking about, cuando nosotros estamos con una idea que nos ronda en la cabeza. Thinking about, when I'm thinking about an idea. Okay? So you can use present perfect continuous. How many books have you read this year? How many is used with present perfect. And number 10, have you exercised or have you been exercising lately? You can use both because you're using lately. Okay? Now answer the questions. What have you been doing lately after class? I have been taking guitar lessons. Number 2, how many times have you gone to the movies? I have gone 3 times to the movies this month. Present perfect. Number 3, who have you been hanging out with? O who have you hung out with recently? Es decir, ¿con quién has estado saliendo últimamente? I have hung out or I have been hanging out with my friends. Okay? Yo he salido o he estado saliendo con mis amigos. Okay, the next one, number 4. How many times have you eaten out at a restaurant this week? I have eaten out 3 times this week. Okay, present perfect. Number 5. Have you studied or been studying a lot recently? I have made 4 phone calls this week. Yeah? Yo he hecho 4 llamadas esta semana. Yeah, so you're saying how many, you're using present perfect. Number 7. How many times have you overslept in the last month? I have overslept 4 times in the last month. Present perfect, you're talking about quantity. Number 8. What have you been thinking about for the last hour? I have been thinking about my exams. Number 9. How many books have you read this year? I have read 3 books this year. Number 10. Have you exercised or have you been exercising lately? Yes, I have exercised or have been exercising a lot this week. Okay? Or lately. Yeah? So notice that when you answer questions with quantities, cuando respondemos preguntas con cantidades exactas, nosotros utilizamos present perfect. Okay? Very good. Let's continue. So that's just a reminder. Lately es últimamente. Recently, recientemente. So far, hasta ahora. For and since. All these 5 expressions are used with present perfect and present perfect continuous. But in months, in ages, or in decades is used only with present perfect negative. For example, you can say, I have been studying a lot lately, or I have studied a lot recently, or I have been exercising recently. I have exercised recently. I have learned so many things in the class so far. But only with in, you have to use it with the present perfect. I haven't gone to the movies in months. Negative present perfect only with in. Since are for in the present perfect tense. So don't forget that since is used for a startup time or a particular time. Okay, es para hablar desde un punto específico del tiempo. So since can be used with times, for example, since 9 o'clock, since 12:30. You can use it with expression that goes with ago, since a month ago, since a week ago, since a year ago, since last weekend, since Christmas. Puede usarse con un evento específico en el tiempo. Since I came to Quito, since I came to Buffalo, Since 2001, desde el 2001, with years too, and with dates. Con fechas también se puede utilizar el since. Okay, I repeat. Con horas, con años, con fechas y con eventos específicos en el tiempo. Okay, let's continue. Sample sentences with since. I have been in the office since 9 o'clock. I have lived in Buffalo since 2006. Since December the 12th. Since last week. Since I was 18. Since January, you can use it with months of the year too. Since 2 weeks ago. Okay, very good. Now for is used with a period of time and a duration of time. For quiere decir durante, es para hablar de duración de tiempo. For can be used with the following expressions: for an hour, for a long time, for 10 seconds, for a decade, for 10 minutes, for 5 years, for a month, for 2 weeks, for an hour. Okay, durante. For an hour, for a month, for more than 2 weeks, for a long time, for 5 years, for a whole day, and for 10 minutes. So let's see. I have had this book since March the 1st because it's a date. I have had this book for 2 weeks. It's talking about duration of time. I have been in Buffalo since 2006. It's a year. I have been in Buffalo for half a year. It's duration of time. For half a year quiere decir durante 6 meses. I have known him since a month ago. Recuerden que la expresión ago es exclusiva del simple past, pero también se la puede utilizar con el present perfect o el present perfect o el present perfect continuous, siempre y cuando se utilice solo con since. Since a month ago. I have known him for a month. Yo le he conocido durante un mes. Okay? Since for and in for duration. So don't forget, since is with points, used with points in time. For and in is used with periods of time. Yeah, but in is only used with negative statements. He has been doing karate for 9 years. I haven't been out to eat in months. Okay? In is also used with after negatives and superlatives. For example, I haven't met him in months, or I haven't met him for months. Yeah? Or it was the worst storm in decades, or it was the worst storm for decades. It can be used in or for after superlatives. Okay, let's continue. So, let's go with the exercises. I once studied classical music for 6 months, durante 6 meses. That house has been empty for 6 months, duration of time. I am going to France for the summer. ¿Por qué for? Porque aquí mucho cuidado, estoy utilizando future con going to. Me voy a ir a Francia durante el verano. Okay? I have known him since our school days. I'm talking about a specific point in time. Estoy hablando desde que estuvimos en el colegio. I have known him for a long time. Lo he conocido durante mucho tiempo. Duration of time. How long have you been here for? ¿Durante cuánto tiempo has estado aquí? Is duration of time. I haven't met him in or for months because it's negative with the present perfect. It was the worst storm in or for decades. You can use in or for followed by superlative. He loved music since his earliest childhood. Él amó la música desde su niñez, desde su primera niñez. Since, event in time. Okay? So that was the use of since for an in, don't forget. So look at the examples. Kazu has been doing yard work for a few hours. Sienna and Lynn haven't shopped online in months. It's negative with present perfect. Lola has been running since she was in college. This is an event in time. Es un evento específico en el tiempo. Carmen hasn't made unhealthy food in a long time. Okay, this is not correct. Let me correct this. In a long time. Yeah, in a long time. Yeah, se ha corrido la rayita. In a long time. It's here. Yeah. Perfecto, se corrió la rayita. Okay, there you go. So it's in a long time. ¿Por qué in? y no since. Porque it's a sentence with the present perfect negative. Okay, so in is used with present perfect negative. Carmen no había hecho comida no saludable en mucho tiempo o durante mucho tiempo. In a long time. Sal and Elena have been skiing since this morning. Desde esta mañana. Esto es un punto en el tiempo. Desde la mañana. Tony has been doing the laundry for over 2 hours. Ha estado lavando su ropa durante 2 horas ya. Okay, I cannot use in here because this is a sentence with affirmative present perfect continuous, and remember that in you only use with present perfect negative. Okay, so don't forget, in is only used when you have present perfect negative. So that's why in number 2 you use in, present perfect negative. Number 4, present perfect negative. Okay, that's why we use in number 2 and number 4. Look, so this is a conversation with the present perfect or present perfect continuous, and you were supposed to use for since or in. Okay, so for example, look, it says, "Hi Kate, what have you done or what have you been doing since I saw you last?" Yeah, you can use both because you're using since. ¿Qué has hecho o qué has estado haciendo desde la última vez que te vi? Oh, I have been working on my house for the past few weeks. We're still not done with it. Como dice we are still not done with it, quiere decir que la actividad todavía no se termina, continúa en el presente. Yeah, so that's why we are using present perfect continuous. And for duration of time. Oh, really? Yeah, we have wanted to make improvements since 2006 when we bought the house, and now we finally have the time and the money. We have wanted it with present perfect only because want is a steady verb, and since goes only with years. Correct. That's great. No wonder I haven't seen you in weeks. Hey, do you want to go to a cafe so we can catch up? So it says, I haven't seen you. The verb see is a steady verb, so it can only be used with the present perfect, okay? And in weeks, remember that in we use it with sentences that are with the present perfect negative. So I haven't seen you in weeks. No te he visto durante semanas o en semanas, okay? And the last part it says, sure, I haven't eaten yet. That would be great. I haven't eaten yet. Yet is only used, it's an adverb that it's only used with the present perfect. So when you see already, just, still, or yet, it means that you have to use present perfect. Okay, so those are the hints. Esas son las pistas, digamos, para el momento de escoger entre present perfect y present perfect continuous. Now look, already, still, and yet, and we already we added just. Okay, so look, in the last tutorial we already saw when to use them. Now we're going to practice. Okay, so it says there is a new comedy out. Have you seen it yet? Yet at the end of a question. Oh, the Ben Stiller movie. Yeah, I have already seen it. Yo ya la vi. Already. Okay, between the auxiliary have or has and the past participle of the verb. It was hilarious. Have you seen it yet? Okay, it's a question. Okay, so you have to use yet at the end of questions and negative sentences. No, I haven't. Not yet. Okay, so yet is used at the end of questions and negative sentences. I would like to though. Number 2. Have you seen the latest James Bond movie yet? Okay. Question, at the end you have to use yet. No, I haven't had a chance yet. It's a negative sentence, so you have to use yet. Actually, I still haven't seen the last one. Still is always used before the auxiliary haven't or hasn't. Okay, so do you want to go to see a movie later? I don't know. I have already seen most of the movies that are out now. Yo ya vi la mayoría de películas que salieron ya de estreno. Already goes between the auxiliary have or has and the past participle of the verb. Really, I still haven't seen any of them. Still goes before the auxiliary have or has in negative sentences. Don't forget. Okay, so already, still, and yet. Don't forget that yet is used at the end of questions and negative statements for things that are expected. Have you seen Funny Guy yet? No, I haven't seen it yet, or no, no yet. You can use already to say that the things that you did before now. O sea, para decir que ya realicé la actividad. You can use already after have or at the end of affirmative statements. For example, have you seen Funny Guy yet? Yes, I have already seen it, or yes, I have seen it already. And still, you can use it with statements to say that something is ongoing, para decir que una actividad todavía sigue sucediendo. In negative statements, you can use still for something that you haven't done, but you plan to do. Use still before haven't or hasn't. Have you seen Family Guy yet? No, I still haven't seen it. I have wanted to see it for weeks, but I haven't yet. Okay? So don't forget, still is always before the two auxiliaries haven't or hasn't. Okay? Good. Let's continue. Already, still, and yet with the present perfect. So look, it says, you know there's a new show on TV, Friends. I have seen it yet. Okay? Negative sentence. Have you? No, I have heard about it, but I haven't seen it yet. Okay? Negative sentence goes at the end. It looks good. You know that movie Aladdin? Have you seen it yet? Yet always goes at the end of questions. Yes, I have already seen it. Yo ya la he visto. Okay? It was good. But I still haven't seen Dumbo. Okay? Todavía no he visto Dumbo. Still always comes before the auxiliaries haven't or hasn't. I would like to see that too. Actually, there are a few movies that I still want to see. Still is used before the verb in the simple present. We saw that the last tutorial. Okay, have you read any good books recently? I just read, okay, you can here write the name of any book. For example, I just read Harry Potter, for example, okay. So you can say, for example, in number 3, have you read any good books recently? I have just read, so you can write any title of any book that you have read. For example, Harry Potter. Have you read it? No, I haven't read it yet. It's a negative sentence, so you have to use yet. I have been busy. I still haven't read the book assignment for my English class. Still is always used before the auxiliary haven't or hasn't with negative sentences in the present perfect. Have you heard Shakira's new song yet? We use always yet with questions with the present perfect. No, I haven't downloaded it yet. Negative sentence in the present perfect at the end. I still haven't heard the other songs on the album either. Still is used always before the auxiliaries haven't or hasn't in the present perfect. Number 5. There are a lot of great places to visit in the city, but I have never been to the center. Okay, you can write and type the name of any place. Have you? No, I haven't been there yet. Todavía no he ido. So yet is always used with at the end of negative sentences with the present perfect. I still haven't been there to some of the museums of art or galleries either. Still always goes before haven't or hasn't. The auxiliary is haven't or hasn't in the present perfect. Okay, so circle the words to complete the conversation. Well, in this case, I underline them, okay? It's good to see you. We haven't spent time together since last summer, okay? Since last summer, porque estoy hablando de un punto en el tiempo. No hemos pasado juntos desde el último verano. Yeah, and I haven't been to the movies in months. You have to use in months because you're talking about duration of time. No nos hemos ido al cine durante meses. And it's a negative sentence with the present perfect. Remember that in you use with negative sentences. So what do you want to see? ¿Qué quieres ver? I don't know. I have already seen a lot of stuff. Yo ya he visto bastantes películas. I have already, okay? Already is used between the auxiliary have or has and the past participle of the verb. Well, have you seen It's a Funny World yet? Yet is always at the end of questions in the present perfect. No, I still haven't seen it. Okay? Still is used before the auxiliaries haven't or hasn't with negative sentences. Okay? So that's why we use a still. Okay? Already comes after the auxiliary, so that's why we don't use already. And I have wanted to for a long time. Y he querido hacerlo durante mucho tiempo. We are using these two for duration of time, but the correct answer is for because for is used with affirmative and negative sentences. In is only used with negative sentences in the present perfect, so this is an affirmative sentence. That's why the correct answer is for. Well, great, let's go. Okay, look at this conversation. Complete the conversations with already, still, or yet. There are so many movies that I still haven't seen. Still comes before the auxiliaries haven't or hasn't. Yeah, okay, let's see. How about Brad Pitt's new movie? I haven't seen that yet. Yet, it's always using negative sentences at the end. I have already seen that one. Yo ya vi esa película. Already comes between the auxiliary have or has and the past participle of the verb. It was good. How about the new horror movie that is out? Have you seen that yet? Yet comes at the end of a question. No, I don't like scary movies. I am 25 and I still haven't seen a horror movie. Still comes before the auxiliary haven't or hasn't in a negative sentence in present perfect. Well, there's a new animated movie out. I haven't seen that one yet. It's a negative sentence in the present perfect and it goes at the end. Oh, great, let's go. I have been dying to see it. Good, let's continue. Okay, so we have 2 more exercises. You have to complete the sentences with still, yet, just, or already. Number 1, I haven't finished my homework yet. It's a negative sentence and yet comes at the end. We are still waiting for the teacher to give us the results. En the last tutorial, ya vimos en el anterior tutorial, still también se utiliza, por ejemplo, en el present continuous, antes del verbo en ing. We are still waiting for the teacher. Estamos todavía esperándole a la profesora para hablar de una actividad que todavía no termina. Number 3, Bea had already seen the film twice, so we went for pizza instead. Had seen, it's the past perfect. El past perfect es el pasado del present perfect. Pero already, just, still y yet se utiliza de igual forma que con el present perfect, between the auxiliary and the past participle. You want another piece of cake? You have already eaten 3 slices. Already comes between the auxiliary have or has and the past participle of the verb. Number 5, I have already made some coffee. Would you like some? Yo ya hice algo de café. I have already. So between the auxiliary and the past participle of the verb. Haven't you found Lola yet? It's a question, and yet always goes at the end of questions in present perfect. I thought you had already called her. Already comes between the auxiliary had, or have, or has, and the past participle of the verb. Number 7, I had already sat down to watch TV when Dad asked me to help him. Okay, the auxiliary had, or has, or have, and then we use already, and then we use past participle. So already comes before, between. The auxiliaries had, or have, or has, and the past participle. She still hasn't bought anything to wear on the parties tomorrow. In the present perfect, still is used before the auxiliaries hasn't or haven't. En el present perfect, still es utilizado con oraciones negativas, con antes del haven't o hasn't. And let's go to the last exercise. Write the words in the correct order. The program has just started. Okay? Just es para decir que acabo de terminar la acción. ¿Ya? Acabo de terminar la acción. So, the program has just started. ¿Ya? Es decir, el programa acaba de comenzar. ¿Okay? La acción de comenzar ya recién sucedió. So, just comes between the auxiliary have or has and the past participle of the verb. We have already seen that film. Already comes between the auxiliary have or has and the past participle of the verb. They haven't had dinner yet. Yet comes at the end of the negative sentence or a question. Haven't you spoken to Isabel yet? You have also a negative questions. So you can start a question with haven't or hasn't, followed by the subject and the past participle of the verb. And this is a question too, so yet comes at the end of questions. My parents have already gotten up. Already comes between the auxiliary have or has and the past participle of the verb. We have just finished this exercise. Acabamos de terminar este ejercicio. Just comes between the auxiliary have or has and the past participle of the verb. Igualito que el already. He has just had a shower. Él se acaba de duchar. Between the auxiliary have or has and the past participle of the verb. And we haven't had dinner yet. Yet comes at the end of the negative sentence in the present perfect, okay? So with these exercises, we just practice already, just, and yet. Okay. And that's the end of this tutorial. Thank you. So this is the second reinforcement that we have done. Este es el segundo refuerzo que hemos hecho de present perfect versus present perfect continuous, since for already, just, still, and yet. I hope this reinforcement helped you. Espero que esto les haya ayudado para reforzar estos temas de la unidad 10, okay? I hope to see you in the next tutorial. Okay, take care, bye bye.